So it's Wednesday on week 1 of January 2021, and we got snow and we've got ice, and there wasn't a lot I could be doing right at this point in the garden, so just came down to have a look around. Then Thursday, really cold, down to -3 in the night, and I woke up to a really beautifully crisp morning. The moon is still hanging in there, but the sunrise is starting over on the horizon. And as usual, as I like to do most mornings, I took a wander down to the area where I'm starting the kitchen garden just to have a look at the first sights of the morning, listen to the birds, and just take it all in. Well, it's a little bit later in the morning now, and I've been inside and had my coffee, and I'm just raring to go. It's a beautiful morning, the sun's shining. Yes, it's cold and it's crisp, but it's a gorgeous day to be out in the garden. And I'm just going to start off with a little bit of tidying up, clearing away some debris that doesn't need to be around. And my plan for the morning is going to be doing a little composting project. I ordered some Bokashi composting bins from a company here in the UK called Wiggly Wigglers, and I started that early-ish in December, and I'm now ready to be emptying my first bin. So first of all, I'm just going to start by taking a look at what's going on underneath the carpet that I've had pinned down on top of the compost here. So the bottom layer, which is about 20 centimetres in height, is just garden scraps, some leaf mould, some weeds that I pulled before Christmas, and then I layered that over with newspaper. There's definitely some worms in there. Like when I was peeling back this little bit of carpet here, I could see lots of baby worms on the go. So what I decided to do is leave this side well alone, and just let them do their thing, because they're obviously really happy and really active under there. Hopefully the carpet's keeping them nice and warm and protected from too much of the frost. This side is perfect, so I'm going to start by adding actually some non-fermented vegetable scraps. So unfortunately both my bins got full very quickly, and I'm left this morning with quite a lot of fresh vegetable scraps, so I figure why not put that as a layer underneath the bokashi that I have. I'm just going to start by smashing that down a bit. We'll see if this works. Hopefully it does. There's a few eggshells in there, potatoes, some carrot peelings, some cauliflower and some lettuce stalks, and quite a lot of citrus peel, which I'm not sure is going to be the best for compost and for the worms, but at this point I'm just going to go for it. I think it will be good just to add it all in before I add the bokashi. So here it is, my first full bokashi bin. I'm quite excited about this unboxing, and it'll be interesting to see what's in there and what's happened. I've got no idea, I've never done this before. Basically what I've been doing is every time I've got some scraps like the one you've already seen me putting in the bin, I've been layering them and compacting them down in this bin in like 1 to 2 centimetre layers, and then using the brand that comes with the kit, I've been sprinkling that over, pressing down, and as you can see from this unveiling, you end up with basically a big cake of compressed vegetable scraps. There's a little drain on the bottom, which, as you can see, the plastic bit that I'm removing now with the holes in, that allows any excess water to drain off, and you can you're then left with quite a dry cake of bokashi scraps. So it's quite interesting. I'm going to just break it down and see what I'm left with, and it's quite dry, as you can see, and I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for and whether or not I've been fermenting this for long enough, but I feel quite happy that it already looks like it's broken down significantly. I can still see a heck of a lot of citrus peel. We're eating a huge amount of satsumas clearly before Christmas. And as I said, I'm going to do a little bit more research as to whether or not I should be putting this amount of citrus peel in my Bokashi bins. I think this is probably going to be a bit of an anomaly as a pre-Christmas combination of things that were going in the bin. A heck of a lot of citrus, like I said, and I'm not sure as time progresses, what's going to be going into the bins, but for now I think I'm just going to add it to this compost pile and cover it over and just see what happens. But I'm quite happy with it for now. There's no smell coming off. I was asked by a family member, with it being in the kitchen, is it not going to smell? I can totally say no. When I drained off the Bokashi liquid as I went along, it just smelt like, I would just compare it to smelling like pickled onion juice. Not particularly unpleasant, just a bit pickly, and with a vague whiff of onions, because I think I did put some alliums in the scraps. I've got no idea at this point why I'm pressing down so hard. This is basically just some packaging, just some brown paper packaging that I've been saving. It's a great idea when you're doing any kind of composting to have cardboard and paper scraps saved. So I've had these saved for a little while just for this purpose, so that I'm going to have a nice layer of green scraps and brown, and hopefully the worms are going to appreciate that brown, as well as all the lovely vegetable scraps that I've added in. I've been learning from my reading about Bokashi that worms can tolerate some of the Bokashi, so hopefully any worms that are in there won't mind that the scraps that are in there are going to be quite acidic and fermented, but we'll see. This is all a bit of an experiment for me at this point, and I just want to see what happens. So fingers crossed. I'm adding the carpeting back over the top, and I'm just going to cover it over nice and tight and just leave that for a couple of weeks until I have my next box of Bokashi ready to go in. If you'd be interested in learning more about how I do the Bokashi from start to finish, I'd be very happy to put something together. But I would direct you to Wiggly Wigglers. They've got some great videos on their site about how to do it and why you should be doing Bokashi. I found it really useful because we don't have great food recycling in this area, and I really want to get my compost started. And it just seemed a really good way, rather than putting the scraps directly onto the garden, to get them off to a good start, breaking down. And yeah, that's it. I'm just leaving it nice and tightly covered and putting it to bed for a little bit longer and see what happens in the future. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini project that I'm doing in the garden with the composting corner, and more on this in the future.